Hey, my name is David Scott, and this week we've been asked to discuss certain debated topics within the New Testament or within Christianity. And so I've chosen two. They are women's role within ministry, or oftentimes presented in an accusation that women are treated as second class citizens within Christianity. And the second would be the canonization of Scripture and how it came about. So, as far as women in ministry or being treated subpar to men, oftentimes First Timothy 2:12 is cited, and First Timothy 2:12 says, "I do not permit a woman to teach a man nor hold authority over him." Taken out of context, that can appear very bad, but there is there are roles that men and women both play, both in ministry and in life, and that's by design. And to assume that we know more or know better than God is dangerous. There are many instances within the New Testament, certainly within the Gospels, where Christ himself addressed women and displayed his attitude toward women that is, I think it'd be very hard to make the case that they are subpar. For instance, the woman with the alabaster jar of perfume. Condemned by the disciples, Christ was very honest and sincere when he said that wherever the gospel is preached, your story will also be told. That's big, I think, personally. When he was resurrected, he first appeared or showed himself to women whose testimony wasn't even allowed in court. I think that says a lot. And some women have a hard time with the idea that because of Eve's fall, that somehow women are viewed poorly by God. But while Eve may have been the originator of the fall of mankind, it was also through woman that God delivered the Redeemer for all of mankind. And I think that that is a huge blessing, and it's something that men will never be able to experience. And so I just have a hard time accepting the fact that people say that women are somehow undervalued in Christianity. The second topic, the canonization of Scripture. When you discuss the Council of Nicaea, for instance, people will say that the council picked and chose which books they wanted or liked and disregarded those they didn't. I have a hard time seeing some of the things or reading some of the things in the New Testament and believing that a sinful, self-serving human being would include those in Scripture. For instance, when Christ was asked about paying taxes, he said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and unto God what is God's." Right about April 15th, which isn't far off, just about any answer would be preferred to the one he gave. So, for me personally, if I were creating a religion, so to speak, I would certainly not include that if I had the opportunity. And I think what people often forget is that these letters or books, however you choose to word it, were taught throughout the churches for 300 or so years, give or take. And it wasn't until heretical teaching moved in that it became very apparent to them that they needed to address what should be counted as valid and what shouldn't. So take, for instance, say I were to administer a test. Tell you January 1st, in 365 days, I will administer a test. You don't need to know the question necessarily, but understand that the answer is going to be ABC 1, 2, 3. And every day for 365 days, I tell you the answer to the test that I'm going to administer on the following January 1st is ABC 1, 2, 3. Then on December 31st, somebody comes to you and says, disregard that. The answer is in fact XYZ 7, 8, 9. Now, the person telling you that answer is not the test giver. They have never met the test giver, but they are telling you that the answer is vastly different than what the test giver told you the answer would be. Of course, you would disregard the answer that they're telling you it's going to be because it would be completely illogical and foolish to take their word that the answer they are giving you is better than the one that you have been told by the test giver for 365 days. It doesn't make any sense. So when people accuse the councils, and there were many more than just Nicaea, but when they accuse those councils of picking and choosing and creating a religion to serve their own devices, it doesn't stand to reason, because if anybody who was self-serving created a religion, there are many aspects of the New Testament they would not include. I hope this helps. There are a lot of debatable issues, or at least a lot of issues that are debated. Whether they really should be debated or not is up for debate. But hopefully these helped. My answers helped to the two that I've chosen, and I think that's it. Have a good one.